I really need to get better about actually pulling out my camera. Also need to make sure I have a microphone on top of the camera so I can get better audio. I just proved my own point of why I need to get better about this whole vlogging thing. I tried to just shoot a vlog, realized didn't have my microphone on the camera, so the audio probably isn't any good. So I figured, well, I should probably reshoot it, which I'm doing right now. Hey guys, we're in vlog number 2. It's snowing here in Oregon, and I came out here to go for a little walk, and then I got really distracted because here in these trees, there's just these birds that are just flying all over the place. There's probably a dozen or so of them just hanging out, just flying around, eating all the holly that's on the trees. I am the worst. My hands are freezing right now by trying to take all that video. I'm typical Jake. I am always super underprepared. I'm lucky I have a beanie on and a jacket, but oh man, I'm cold. But it's me. I don't know. I could not live anywhere colder than Oregon. Oregon's as cold as it gets, and this is the first snow of 2017. But it's the 3rd time it's snowed already this winter, and I can't do any more than this. It's pretty though, which helps because it's been really kind of ugly. This is an ugly time of the year unless it snows. Well, I survived Storm Helena. At least that's what I saw that they're calling it on the radio or on the news today. Storm Helena in Oregon. We don't get a lot of snow in Portland. In fact, as far as I can remember, this is about as much snow as we've had in a long time. This is the 3rd time it snowed this winter. First time since the start of the year. And thankfully it's a Saturday, because last time it did snow here at the end of the year, it took people hours, like 6-7 hours to get home from work. So thankfully people aren't out there. For the creative aspect of this vlog, I thought I'd kind of go into how I start my graphic designs. I don't know how anyone else goes about theirs, but this is kind of my process. The first things I do is I go in and I try to find some inspiration pieces based on whatever I am trying to do. In today's case, I'm doing a guy and a dog in a motorcycle with a sidecar. And so first thing I like to do is I do like to go through and I like to search for art prints that are already out there as kind of an idea to get what other people have made in this realm, and then just to kind of get a sense of what's already out there and what I can do to add into it, or how my vision varies compared to theirs. So if I go in there and I look and I see something that looks pretty much exactly like what I want, I got to think of a new way to kind of do it. Now that said, I don't always find everything, obviously. It's kind of a quick search. And then from there, I come in and I get pictures of kind of what I want for references. I got this picture of a motorcycle sidecar on pretty much a white background that's just kind of a nice, simple, kind of the look I'm looking for with the sidecar. Then I also got this picture of a dog and his owner on a sidecar driving. And it's kind of how I want the dog to look, not exactly, but I like the idea of the goggles on the dog, and so we're gonna use that as a reference. And then I had another one, slightly different angle, but I like the guy driving it. I kind of like his look, and that's kind of the look I think I want to go with as far as for the driver. Don't use anything fancy. Like I said, this is just a piece of scrap paper that's already kind of been used, but it's got a clean side. just a regular number 2 pencil, nothing fancy. For me, this process is just about getting my image onto a piece of paper where I will then later digitize it. Part of why I love working on a computer when doing art is when you see this, you can see just how off-center it ended up being, and I really didn't take into account because I kind of started with putting the motorcycle about in the center, and all of a sudden this is running off to the edge. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a picture of it on my phone, send it to my computer, and finish it in Illustrator. Feel free to comment below and let me know how you go about starting your graphic designs, and I would love to know how similar of a process you guys do, whether or not you just jump straight to the computer or what your process is. So far, this is my favorite process. If you liked the video, hit the subscribe button below, and I will see you next week.